Your dad slipped this into my pocket when I was unconscious. To my beautiful, brave daughter. If you are reading this, things have not gone to plan.
Okay, cut. There's not enough emotion. We need to make these children bawl their eyes out, make them cry, make them hungry for more. And action. What the fuck? Today we're taking a look at Roblox movies. The good, the bad, and the ugly. See what I did there? So as long as Roblox has been around, people have used it to make various media ranging from films to music videos. In the modern day, a lot of Roblox animation is actually found on YouTube Shorts, with there being a whole group of consistent Roblox Shorts animators. For the most part, they're pretty fun. They don't do anything offensive, it's just a few guys having a good time. That sounded more gay than it needed to. Then of course we have the Roblox music videos. Now these can range from modern Roblox songs, which are mostly made for kids and have solid quality. Don't call me a noob, I've been around the blocks more times than you, and yeah, I don't have a lot of Roblox. Can't let the baddies know I kinda fuck with this. Then we have classic Roblox music videos like the Halo 3 noob song one.
Living life in the life of a noob, I rarely use my gun. Living life in the life of a noob, it's fun for everyone.
Ooh,
Living life in the life of a noob, I watch the
fiction!
rising-
Then of course, I Ain't Got No Money, which I can't lie. Sorry, I ain't got no money, I ain't trying to be funny, but I left it all at home today. This went hella hard in 2016. And we have whatever the hell this is. This was made in 2021? Really? I thought this type of video died out back in 2017. Sad Roblox music videos, as funny as they are to discuss, seem to be a big subgenre of Roblox media, typically involving a relationship of some kind, murder, domestic abuse, all of the topics the edgy preteens love. I'm only saying this because I genuinely think this type of video had some sort of effect on Roblox films going forward. Also, while we're going over it, Cardiff Wecto? I don't know how you say his username, but he makes peak. The JoJo openings in Roblox are fire. Get away from Stone Ocean! I don't want to say there's no chance! Let's get started, count 1, 2, 3! Take me far away! Fly zone free! Also, we obviously can't forget the best Roblox music video. You figured now the melee's off the table. I can tell you're getting really sick of trying, but I think you're just molding co-harder. Okay, that's enough of that. So, we've covered Roblox music videos, which is one main example of Roblox media, but that's not the focus today. Instead, we're going to be looking at 5 Roblox movies I've picked out, which have differing genres or take themselves seriously as a cinematic experience. The first of which we'll be going over is... What can I say about The Last Guest that hasn't been said? It's arguably the most iconic Roblox movie we're gonna go over. It's a series Oblivious HD made at the height of his popularity, or at least relevance in the Roblox community. Oblivious made The Last Guest riding off the back of Guest 666, a 2-part short film that took an iconic Roblox creepypasta from the time and made a narrative and characters for it. Honestly, I remember watching this a couple of times over when it came out because I thought it was a pretty novel concept. Though it also features one jump scare that still gets me to this day. Tying this video back into Roblox sad story music videos, Guest 666 kinda fits every criteria. It has teenage girls, it has bloody murder, it has the psychopathic bullies, and of course it has a love interest. It seems Oblivious HD was heavily influenced by these sort of sad Roblox music videos. While his stories have merit and are surprisingly well thought out, they seem to take popular topics from the time and create a narrative surrounding them, which is exactly how The Last Guest came to be. For those of you unaware, back in the day, I sound like an old man, Roblox used to have a feature where you could play as a guest. This allowed you to play Roblox games without creating an account. You just weren't able to save any progress or use chat. You were also assigned one of 3 avatars, depending on the gender selected you were locked in to play as. However, despite backlash from the community, Roblox removed guests on October 2nd, 2017. It was a big deal in the Roblox community. We weren't gonna have these cute little guys running around our lobbies mute anymore. It was unjust, it was unfair! Which is exactly what The Last Guest is all about. The film has a cold open, or alternatively it starts in media res if you're a good-for-nothing know-it-all like me. We watch as a guest fights alongside another unnamed character, which ends when he's... The film fades to black, and then we watch the birth of who will become the last guest. First thing of note is that they actually have pretty decent voice actors, which as far as Roblox films go, it's pretty good.
Go on then, school's about to start. You don't want to be late on your first day.
But Mom, I'm a guest.
As for the lack of lip sync, it's not something that's inherently needed, but even having their mouths open when they speak would be nice. Also, I feel I should probably point out the set. I understand it's low budget, but you couldn't have added a hill or something? You could just walk right off the edge. Then we have guests being bullied.
Hey, look, it's a stupid guest. Didn't think there were any of them left.
Yeah, I know.
Well, in the first minute, we have death and a main character getting bullied. Looks like we can tick 2 auteur personality traits off the list. Speaking of death, about 30 seconds later, the parents are shot dead. Can't have shit in Roblox. Also, apparently the killer just doesn't go for the child that the parents were just watching play in the park. If your goal is racial genocide, you'd think you'd want to go all out, right? Piggo?
What do you mean racial genocide?
Well, that, my dear viewers, happens to be very important to the central narrative.
Oh yeah, there's a manga behind.
You see, Guest gets bullied at school for being a guest. It's then revealed that his parents were murdered by a member of a bacon hair terrorist organization because they're trying to get rid of Guest. Why are the bacon hairs doing this? Well, we'll come back to that later. Guest eventually finds his way to an orphanage where he meets some friends that grow up together. Also, at this point, I have to mention the animation is very hit or miss. There's actually numerous times where the film cuts to a shot recorded in-game. I'd complain, but I rate the effort, and it doesn't ruin the narrative, which is the most important part of The Last Guest. We then meet Matt, Oblivious HD's self-insert, who, of course, beats up 2 bullies and proudly helps Guest like he's trying to be Jonathan Joestar. Plus, the bully refers to Guest as a species.
You weak, pathetic guest. No wonder your species died out.
Although later on, guests are referred to as a race, which either makes me think this bully is just super racist, essentially calling Guest subhuman, or it's just a plot hole. Oh, that Oblivious HD, I'm sure he's bawling his eyes out right now that he messed up on this one. I'm sure. After that, they all become good friends. How sweet. But also, how the hell are you playing Mario Kart Wii with Xbox controllers? Also, 4 players? There's only 3 of them! Insanity! Never mind. Unfortunately, the bacon hair terrorist from earlier tracks Guest to his orphanage, and we get a surprisingly well-conceptualized scene. We're shown this cupboard, and then the kids hiding inside of it. When the bacon hair terrorist enters the building, he walks over to it and opens it. The kids aren't inside. Turns out they're hiding in this other cupboard. I like this scene because the first time I saw it, the film genuinely subverted my expectations in a pretty cool way. Scenes like that really do show that there was a lot of passion put into this film. After the bacon hair is scared off by police, Guest is informed he's lucky to be alive because the bacon hairs really don't like his people.
Bacon soldiers seriously don't like your people.
Again with the racism allegation.
Yeah, again with the racism.
What do you mean your people?
This film is genuinely an allegory for racism. This is nowhere as apparent as when we meet the bacon hair leader. Listen to what he says at the Guest Games. A gladiator-style fight bacon hairs force Guest to compete in.
Welcome to our annual Guest Games. These games are here to demonstrate the power and might of the glorious Bacon Empire. To show that we are the superior race.
What was he smoking writing this dialogue? That's crazy. Also, do you want to see how the bacon hairs have all these guests at their disposal? Okay, so believe it or not, they have a guest holocaust going on. There's hundreds of guests kept in a concentration camp. Need I remind you that this is a Roblox film? I mean, isn't this crazy? The fact a Roblox film focuses on racism and a holocaust. What? At one point in the film, 2 bacon hairs realize the wrong their race is doing, and they have this boy in the striped pajamas-esque conversation with a guest as they form a friendship. This film is insane. How about we speedrun the most insane moments? Okay. One take. Guest manages to solo the bacon hair army. The general says the name of the film.
What a pleasure it is to meet you, the last guest.
Builderman, as presumably the president of Roblox, also says the name of the film.
He was
The last guest.
There's a genuinely sad moment when Guest's daughter reads a note he left after presumably dying at war.
To my beautiful, brave daughter. If you are reading this, things have not gone to plan.
Also, because he has a daughter, that connotes that Guest canonically had sex. Guests equal evil. Again, there is a Guest holocaust. Subject matter is dark. The scene of Guests fighting in the Guest games for a film like this is pretty brutal. Zara, one of the good bacon hairs, dies so the Colonel can prove a point.
Changed my mind. I don't like traitors.
The Colonel also kills a guy because he delivered him bad news. Every character has a love interest. That's insane to me for a Roblox war film. There's shots in Bloxburg. There's a very real conversation as Rose, the guest from the concentration camp, overhears her parents arguing about needing to move in a flashback.
We need to leave first thing tomorrow morning.
No, let's just think about this.
You've been watching the news. The bacon soldiers are slaughtering guests.
But what about Rose? Her
I
friends?
am thinking about Rose and you.
That horse is messed up. Guest dodged a bullet. Rose betrayed them? What? The Doctor is the GOAT of this film. Bacon hairs going against other bacons is insane. The final battle has crazy spectacle. Although why is this guy just carrying someone mid-fight? Guest manages to dodge another bullet. This is for Zara. The ending is incredibly sweet. Now with the Bacon Army defeated, Guests can reintegrate into society and live amongst everyone else without fear. It's actually a really sweet ending and foreshadowed in an earlier scene. The Doctor is holding a picture of Zara. Tears ran down my face, but I did not cry.
I mean, that's crying.
Also, Oblivious HD self-insert also canonically has sex. And that is The Last Guest. It's very novel and is attempting to be an incredibly cinematic experience. The film can easily be broken down into the 3-act structure and has a lot of great tropes. What I find so bizarre about the film is that it tackles incredibly serious subject matter, yet it's never offensive and actually has some great morals behind it. It's simple. It's a message about not being racist, to put it lightly, but it still tells it in a compelling way. The Last Guest is not bad at all. I'd even give it a 7 out of 10 as, for a Roblox film, it's pretty solid. Which is something I definitely can't say for... Admins vs. Hackers is a film released on the 12th of March 2023. It follows the story of a Roblox noob who gets falsely banned. Actually, it follows Big Blue, an admin that falsely bans the noob. He's the only character that has some sort of attempted development, if you can even call it that. He basically makes the mistake of banning him and then apologizes later on. That's his character arc.
You banned me for saying yes!
Oh yeah, I recently learned that as an admin I'm to ignore glitch reports. I apologize for that.
I say this from the bottom of my soul. It's so boring. Oh, kill me. It's so boring. I've seen it 2 times and I've never been the same since. What can I say about Admins vs. Hackers? The story is non-existent. Everyone just stands around talking. The action takes up a low percentage of the film, and even when there is action, it's so unimpactful. There's no weight behind the animation either, and the camera can't stay still and never does anything creative. I am baffled at how this is sitting at 6.5 million views. That's more than every video on my channel combined. The film takes ideas from the fact Roblox is a game, but doesn't do anything special. Unlike The Last Guest taking Roblox concepts and putting them into a fun creative narrative, Admins vs. Hackers does less than the bare minimum. It's an insult to Roblox media. Roblox sad music videos are better than this film. I reckon you could use Admins vs. Hackers as a form of psychological torture. I'd go over the story, but the story doesn't even have a clear-cut narrative. Things just happen for the sake of more things to unfold. There's no thought-out, well-constructed narrative. It's literally dialogue and mediocre animation for a feature-length time.
Waiting 1 week to play Roblox is torture. Good thing I learned.
That's a quote. For someone needs to put that on a mug.
Really? Tell me more.
Don't tell me more, please. It's so boring. The names of the characters.
Yeah, like the red guy's name is Crimson Red, which is like that's okay. But like Big Blue, Tyrannosaurus Greek, Boxy Boo.
I'll say the film has some pretty good visual effects, but I'm also sure they're using some kind of generic VFX tutorial or pack. To be fair, that doesn't really take away from the fact they look cool. The film also has some killer models, like the weapons the admins use, but even that doesn't save it from the abysmal set design. Seriously, what the hell were they thinking? It's so inconsistent and empty most of the time. Sometimes things just don't seem thought out. Like, why are these super futuristic sci-fi weapons in a giant sci-fi complex being held up with a wooden stand? I was gonna say, why do they have all this sci-fi stuff and then it's all on wooden racks? On wooden racks. It doesn't make sense.
They ran out of budget.
Also, the voice acting. Did these voice actors do every line in a single take? Half of the time, the delivery of the line doesn't even sound like what the characters are trying to convey.
I just said yes, and you have said it in the past. You're going to ban me now.
Let me try mine out.
Right behind you, Pensive.
Now this I can get behind.
I genuinely hate this film. Also, it may not have been intentional, but hacking in this film could be interpreted as sexual assault. I wish I was making this up.
I was alone and peacefully walking among the forest at night, but then I saw it.
Please, this account is so valuable to me. Please don't. I'm begging you.
Be quiet. I'm going to you in such a terrible way that you'll always remember it. I won't be another bystander.
Lots of respect to the creator. I have a lot of respect for anyone who is passionate to share their creations online. Although, despite that, I'm still entitled to my opinion, and this film almost killed me. So, 2 out of 10. The Bacon Hair is Oblivious HD's second attempt at a feature-length Roblox film split over the course of 3 parts. However, this time, conceptually, The Bacon Hair has a completely original concept. Well, sure, in The Last Guest, the concept of putting guests and bacon hairs at a war against each other is original. A lot of ideas were very much rooted in Roblox. While the Bacon Hair also features bacon hairs and guests, you could replace the characters with completely original ones and the story would still be pretty solid. So, let's take a look at it, shall we? Let's see what Oblivious HD has improved from The Last Guest to now. Similarly to The Last Guest, we start in media res. We're thrown into a rundown neighborhood and are introduced to what I can only assume to be homeless bacon hairs. Also, I must say, right from the get-go, there has been a noticeable improvement in the set design. This is honestly impressive coming off the back of The Last Guest, which mostly used free models for sets and never really did anything too crazy with them. Whatever type of place we're in, there's a lot of ambience to it. We're then introduced to some kind of strange guest robot with an interesting design. It's waffling about this homeless guy being outside past curfew, and of course when the homeless guy can't do anything about being outside, he's electrocuted and dragged away by the so-called curfew bot. Just after the pretty cool title cards, we're shown a glimpse of some bacon hair with a bandana. I wonder if he'll be important later. We then have a scene where a news reporter is urging people to not go out after curfew, and we then meet our protagonist Zayden and his father eating a meal, if you can even call it that. They're struggling for even small amounts of food. The apartment they're in looks dingy and rough. After looking into it, the set featured in this film is actually from a Roblox showcase game based on, okay, wish me luck here, Nonbei Yokocho in Shibuya, Tokyo. I'm pretty happy Oblivious went out of his way to source a high quality set to use for this film. A good set can go a long way in helping build immersion. Zayden then sneaks off and we catch a glimpse of one of those curfew bots deactivated inside of the house. This is a pretty cool use of the Enigma code. It helps set up a mystery that by the end of part 1 we still don't have a full answer to. We then have a flashback scene to where Zayden's mother is murdered. I wonder where we've seen this one before. Now Zayden's in class. I do think the bacon hair moves a little too fast for my liking, but I'd much rather have it like this than have to sit through a 5-minute conversation which goes towards absolutely nothing. We also learned Bacon City is surrounded by a giant wall that was built a long time ago to protect the bacon hairs from the dangers of the outside. This is starting to sound all too familiar. Also, I hate to make the comparison, but there's also a striking resemblance to criminality. Ugh. Maybe I'm not gonna like the bacon hair. Nah, I'm just kidding. Criminality isn't that bad. They even go into the sewers. This is criminality. Anyway, they get outside the wall and spoiler alert, it turns out it's actually beautiful. Then while they're out there, Zayden meets a guest. Then they have a pretty cool shot as they climb up this big tree. This is another moment where you can tell they're really trying to up the quality of this film. Although the animation is a bit clumsy here and the voiceover is very tacked on.
That's because I'm a guest, silly. We have pink and blue hair.
I've never heard of a guest before.
By the time they're at the top, they're best friends. Primrose, the guest, even hops on his shoulders on a tree branch. You two just met, and now you're practically trusting this boy with your life? That's crazy. Alright, so things continue to progress. Zayden's dad is murdered by one of the curfew bots. You gotta love sad Roblox music videos. Does everyone in the Oblivious cinematic universe need to have their parents murdered? After this, Zayden is cursed to live on the streets, which is also when we meet the best character in this first part. This old guy. He's so cold, bro.
All those privileged people living in their warm, safe homes, while the rest of us have to fight for our lives every night on the streets. Don't bother trying to tell anyone. No one will believe you. They can't remember how many times I've tried to warn people of the curfew bots. But they just think I'm a crazy old man. Maybe I am. Son, you best be going. The storm is getting worse. The curfew bots will be upon us shortly.
And exactly as the old man says,
oh no.
The curfew bots arrive. And then they kill the goat! Damn it, man, we just met him like 2 minutes ago. Then, following the death of the goat, we have the best executed sequence in any Oblivious film I've seen. Zayden runs from the curfew bots and bacon hairs die all around him. The camera work is sleek, tracking behind Zayden, and the animation gets a noticeable boost in quality. Even the sound work is at the top of its game. It's tense and does everything a scene like this should do. And just before Zayden is fried alive, he's saved by what we can only assume is the curfew bot his dad was working on earlier. Then Zayden decides to give him a name.
Well, you kind of look like a guest, so I'll call you Guesty.
Zesty? I mean, it wouldn't be my first choice, because you're a robot, man. Also, Oblivious, you say in your description you want people to send you some feedback, and I've got something that'll help improve your films greatly. Make sure to never have a still frame that looks like this ever again. Thank you. We then have a scene where Primrose, Zayden, and Zesty meet, and they instantly become like best friends. It's very forced. Zesty says, friends forever, and the three build an unbreakable bond in the span of a minute. But then, when we finally thought Zayden won in life, it's the bloody Colonel! I thought Jez killed him! This is for Zara, my ass! Then after a long fight, Primrose is taken back by the guests, and Zesty makes a run for it with Zayden. The film comes to a close with Zesty running out of power, just as the bacon hair resistance rocks up from the shadows. Very clever how they teased them earlier. Bravo, Oblivious! You've outdone yourself this time. And that was the bacon hair. Part 1. I was tempted to watch all 3 parts for this video, but I thought if I could just focus on part 1, I could get a more in-depth look at it, instead of, skimming over most of the moments like I did with the last guest. I would say overall though, the bacon hair is actually a solid improvement over what's come before. Sets are nice, concept is cool, and the animation has had a noticeable improvement. The cons? I think the pacing is a little too fast, and the dialogue has a couple moments that fall flat, but honestly, this is great. I don't think I like it quite as much as the last guest, though I've only seen part 1, so perhaps the lore goes insane. For me, the bacon hair part 1 gets a 7.5 out of 10. I'd score it higher, but I wasn't as involved with the story of this one as I was with the last guest. On the other hand, a story that brought me to my knees, crying out in sorrow, would be Roblox Life Golden Sister is a Roblox short film released May 6th, 2021. Most well known from when it blew up as a meme about a year ago. It was coupled with the guy singing, "We're in heaven." So that's where you've probably seen it before, if you have. The story follows a child. He lives a good life. Even the ice cream man looks like he's catching feelings, you perverted creep! Right off the bat, what is wrong with these character models? They've taken Roblox avatars and I don't even know how to describe this. It's genuine nightmare fuel. The characters also look like they're lacking blood flow to their eyes. In some shots, the kid genuinely looks ill. Someone needs to do a checkup on this guy. The sound effects are similarly nightmare fuel. If it's not apparent yet, this is YouTube Kids slop at its finest, but wow, is it hard to watch. Anyway, the mother's water breaks. I wish I was making this up, and they have to go to hospital, so they just leave their kid at home. If you think it's bad that they left the kid at home, don't worry about it, because the theme of child neglect is reoccurring. So the birth is a success and the sister is born. She then becomes the family favorite while the brother is neglected for getting slightly worse grades. Seriously, is getting a B that big of a deal? A B is still a good grade, mother, you bitch. So the child is neglected for his sister. Even the ice cream man don't want him no more. This culminates in him leaving home where he gets beaten mercilessly by bullies, sleeps in a cardboard box under a bridge and thinks about jumping off that bridge to end his life. Anyway, he comes back home and then has a heart attack and dies. Just kidding. His sister gives him a blood transfusion and they all live happily ever after. This video doesn't deserve a rating. Moving on. Operation Silent Dawn, a Roblox film released in January 2020 that— Whoa! 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 Hold on! Good set design? Genuinely impressive visuals, widescreen, cool cinematography, solid animation? What is going on? Pretty good voice acting, mouths actually open when characters speak. Textures off the charts, models that look fire. What the hell am I watching? Is this a Roblox short film or a work of art? A really cool POV sniper shot? What is happening? Cool use of color? Good implementation of music and sound effects.
Greg? Why did we stop?
What's going on there? You alright?
What do you want from me? Do you even realize what you're doing?
Is this gonna be a genuinely impressive Roblox film after all this time? I thought it was a myth! Clearly. All of this has been done in Blender, but I won't let that take away from how impressive the lighting, sets, and models are. The cinematography is genuinely impressive, and so far there's nothing I can really criticize. Then we have our first introductory scene to the main characters. Okay, is this YouTube Kids slop or a genuinely good Roblox short film? Because I just watched a presidential assassination. Can't lie though, I fuck with Max, his moonwalk is smooth. Charles is also just Billy Butcher. The cinematography keeps me involved, and the voice acting is actually immersive. Opening mouths does go a long way, I think, too. While these elite soldiers are getting a briefing, they're also watching some washed-up Roblox Jurassic Park meme. I respect these guys. Billy is completely unfazed, though.
We are still trying to identify who paid them for this job, but what we do have right now is the exact location of their base. One of the suspected kidnappers posted this photo to Instablocks.
Instablocks? Instablocks. So you're telling me these elite mercenaries posted a group pic to Instablocks, which exposed their location. Honestly, I kind of mess with it. The way it cuts to the plane is so cold too. Everything here is so visually impressive. The falling scene is also awesome. I'm so surprised at how grand this all looks. The shaky cam while one of the guards is running is cool. Makes me think of the opening scene to 28 Weeks Later. We then have an awesome POV drone shot as it scouts above the complex. And the set, again, looks so incredibly good. This is hard to beat. Then some of them break into the facility and the short film ends on a cliffhanger. It gives us a message saying 2 parts are to come, but this first part came out over 4 years ago. Who knows, maybe he's cooking something incredibly hard. This guy, Art Animated, has some amazing other Roblox animations, so if you're into this kind of stuff, I'd highly recommend checking out his videos, if nothing for the spectacle alone. But overall, I have to give Operation Silent Dawn a 10, at least for Roblox film standards, because this is top quality. So, after checking out these 5 different films, we've reached the end. It's been a long journey, perhaps even a tiring one for me, because some of these were a hard watch. Out of all of them, I still think The Last Guest is probably the most iconic and my personal favourite, because I actually like the characters. I feel for them while watching it, which is crazy to be able to say that about a Roblox film. With that being said, That's the end of the video. You can go now. Hey guys, it's me, Piggo. I wanted to add this to the video because there's a couple important things I managed to completely gloss over. Firstly, there's tons of amazing Roblox animations on Twitter. It's genuinely so impressive that this many people can create these jaw-dropping animations. Even here on YouTube, you can find the craziest animations being made entirely in Roblox Studio. If you want a good example of this, go subscribe to my goat Aaron. His stuff is insane. He also did the lighting for the Broski design teaser, so you have him to thank for that. What's the Broski design teaser, you ask? Well, that leads me on to my second point. I've been working on a feature-length Roblox film to rival all of the ones we just checked out in this video. I've been working on this film since 2021. How did I manage to write a script looking at 5 Roblox films yet fail to mention my own? Oh, whatever. We're working on getting a Kickstarter out ASAP, so if you're interested in learning more about the film or keeping up to date with it, I say again, join my Discord! Anyway, on that note, thank you for watching. Since I like to end on a gag, here's some stock footage of me pushing Micah out of a plane.
Wait, stand still, stand still.
Oh!